Despite being America's 31st largest city, Oklahoma City doesn't even crack the top 50 when it comes to public transit use. Hi, I'm Ben Felder with OKCUptowner.com, and this is OKC Moving Forward, a special report taking a closer look at the current state of public transit use in Oklahoma City. Over the past decade, the city's urban core has experienced something of a renaissance. New skyscrapers are going up, dozens of restaurants and shops have moved in, and even a new professional sports team has come to the city. In many ways, Oklahoma City's downtown core has become a true example for the rest of the nation. However, there's one area that the city is still falling short in, and that's public transit use.
I'm Michael Scroggins, and I'm the Public Information Officer for Metro Transit and the Central Oklahoma Transportation and Parking Authority. Well, the Central Oklahoma Transportation and Parking Authority, which is often called COTPA, is responsible for and is the recipient of all federal funds for the Central Oklahoma region. We are in Region 6 of the FTA regions around the country, which includes Texas and just our surrounding states here. So what that means is we receive all the federal funding for anything that would go in Moore, would go in Midwest City, the city of Edmond, Oklahoma City, and the majority of our metro area. It does not include Norman right now because not the recent census, but the one before it, Norman was still considered a rural area. Since the most recent one, though, they will more than likely fall back underneath that umbrella and will become part of that metropolitan region. Or urbanized area, as they like to call it.
The Central Oklahoma Transportation and Parking Authority, or COPTA, oversees the city's public transit system, along with parking in the downtown area and some projects along the riverfront. Last year's total budget for the agency was just over $30 million, but transit spending accounted for $21.35 million. The sources for transit funding can seem like a jumbled mess at times. The largest source for Oklahoma City comes out from the city budget, which is primarily funded through sales tax. The city contributes $8.47 million for transit, or 39.6% of the transit budget. The next largest source for funding is from the federal government through grants, which can vary from year to year. Last year, Oklahoma City received $6.7 million, or 31.3% in federal grants. Bus fares contributed $2.29 million to the budget, totaling 10.7%, followed by stimulus funding through the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act at $2 million. The state of Oklahoma contributed $2.29 million, and just over $950,000 came from other sources. Over $20 million spent on public transit might sound like a lot until you realize what other cities in the region spend on their own transit budgets. Austin, Texas, a city smaller than Oklahoma City, spent $125.58 million last year, more than 6 times the amount in Oklahoma City. Transit budgets were also higher in Kansas City, Little Rock, Tulsa, and Fort Worth. Even Topeka, Kansas spent more than double Oklahoma City's transit budget. With funding that is lower than peer cities, Oklahoma City's transit system faces numerous challenges when it comes to maintaining its level of service. However, the transit agency has aggressive plans for expansion, and while the rest of the city's urban core has grown with the addition of new buildings, cultural centers, and entertainment districts over the last several years, there is reason to believe the transit system in Oklahoma City will soon catch up.
Well, one thing that we're doing that will enhance the system overall that's coming online is we're in the process of adding real-time technology to all of our vehicles, so that that means that you'll be able to know when the next bus is coming to the actual real-time minute. You'll be able to set up text alerts, so it'll let you know. You could set up in the morning and say, it's at 5 o'clock. I want to know when the next Route 2 is going to be at this stop. Give me the next three times around this time. We're just going to enhance all of our bus stop information so that we overcome that hurdle of education of people not knowing when they get to a stop. Okay, when's it coming? What's it going to do? And providing all of that information available at stops, as many stops as possible. We're also participating again with ACOG in studying we're performing an alternatives analysis for commuter rail. So that is something that it's moving forward as well. So that's going to be a regional effort to do that. We've got multiple cities who are participating in that study process. We're also in the process of making some proposals for adding new service and even maybe adding Sunday service that we don't have right now to our existing service area. And making that proposal to City Council as part of this next budget year. We are seeking federal funds right now to look at a bus rapid transit, the BRT line, and how that would serve another corridor. So again, it's a lot of studies that you have to do, and it's not exciting to the general public because it doesn't put things there. It doesn't mean it's being built. But those are all prescribed steps that you have to take in order to put that type of service in place.
Improved technology, expanded bus service, and even the possibility of commuter rail are all things in the planning stages at COTPA. But the biggest addition to the city's transit landscape that is already well on its way is the construction of a downtown streetcar line. In December 2009, Oklahoma City voters approved a $130 million sales tax collection to be used on a 6 to 7 mile streetcar line as part of the MAPS 3 initiative. At the time, Oklahoma City Mayor Mick Cornett said the streetcar system would serve as the foundation for a much larger rail-based system. Cornett said, "The streetcar system we're proposing will be the largest in the country. A good transportation system is a big key to the success of our future. This is about Oklahoma City's future." Voters approved the plan, and for the past several years, the streetcar system has been discussed by city council members, the MAP 3 committee, and local transit experts. Despite having a voter-approved funding source, though, the streetcar line has made almost no visible progress in the past few years following the election, as the city continues to seek additional funding through federal grants and still has to develop a way to pay for the operation of the line.
We're just talking about a system to build. We only have the cash, or we're only going to have the cash through MAPS to build it. That doesn't fund the operation of it all at all. That still is a locally made decision that we're going to have to look at from the city's going to have to fund that current, as of it stands right now, out of the local general share budget of the city of Oklahoma City.
Many details are yet to be finalized concerning the streetcar line, but earlier this year the City Council began negotiations over a purchase of the old Santa Fe train station on Broadway that will serve as the hub for the streetcar line. The Santa Fe train station is currently the Oklahoma City station for Amtrak. Public transit's value is demonstrated in its ability to help commuters find alternative forms of transportation that can be cheaper than driving. However, the value of public transit is also shown in the local business community, as many small businesses rely on high-volume walk-up traffic, which transit helps create.
In a coffee shop environment, we're relying on a high volume of customers with a low ticket price. So the more people are walking in our area, naturally the more people are going to stop in and have a drink. So I want to see walkability, bikeability, public transport coming close to my business so that retail shops can open in my part of town so that more people can come and have reasons to come than just stopping for a cup of coffee on their way to work. Public transit makes it possible for people to live downtown and decide not to purchase a car, but instead to get around on transit, especially now that you can put your bicycle on the bus. So as that, they just all are interreliant. As one develops, the other can develop. And so as people move downtown, we need more public transit so that they can choose to walk, bike, and use public transit and not purchase a car. And as the public transit system grows, more people will be able to move downtown and will choose that and see that as a viable option.
The public transit system in Oklahoma City is in need of much improvement, but plans are in place to see this system move forward. A new streetcar line, enhanced technology, and an expanded bus service are all in the works. In 5 to 10 years from now, Oklahoma City could go from being one of America's worst public transit systems to one of America's best.